and party peeps. It's Dr. Sonia here with Jump First. I'm going to bring this really quickly. Per usual, I'm out and about today, so yeah, we're gonna drop this one like super quick. If you don't know what I do here, I talk all things premium courses, whether they be online or face to face, how to take your knowledge, wisdom, life experiences, turn them into the format of courses, luxury coaching, mentorship, brands, programs, so that you can get your message out to the world because you are not supposed to stay what? You are not supposed to stay local, you're supposed to be global. Okay, let's get into it really quickly. Today's episode is titled Built Like That. And of course, I'm going to tie it back into premium courses, but I want to tell you exactly what happened and how this like whole title episode kind of came about. So I had something on my schedule which was scheduled for a later time than it usually is today. And so when I saw my calendar this morning, I was looking at it like, that's kind of weird. And honestly, I usually take a look at my calendar and things that I have going on at a minimum, right? The night before in order to prep and plan for the upcoming day. But for some reason, I looked at the calendar this morning and I saw this thing on there that again is typically scheduled for earlier in the day. And I was like, this is kind of weird. I was like, what's going on with this? Well, it just so happened, like putting it together during my meditation time this morning, I'm like, oh, because there was something last minute that came up yesterday or a couple of days ago that I said yes to. Okay, something that I'm helping someone out with that I had to do this morning. And I was like, yeah, I could do that. Like, it looks like that time slot in my schedule is clear. Well, it just so happens today's my ability to help out that other person this morning would not have been possible if my regularly scheduled appointment or time block was already full, right? So looking back, like hindsight they say is always 2020, but a lot of times we don't know why things are happening or why things occur the way they occur until we get there, until they actually occur. Then it kind of dawns on us or it hits us like, oh, that's the reason why this thing happened this way, right? It needed to happen that way so that we can make room for whatever else needed to occur in our lives so that we continue forward, whether it's building relationships or, helping other people out, being of service, or whatever it is that we need to do, building character, all of those things. And so I'm putting this here in relationship to your premium courses as well. This is the exact way I like to build out my courses. I got this from being a university professor and starting to develop courses and really take a look at, really how courses were traditionally being developed. When universities started asking me to develop courses, I was able to pump those courses out. First of all, I love, love developing courses, but I was able to turn those courses around within about a week, right? And it would actually take me just a day or two. And I remember I would hold on to the courses and not present them to my chair, my department until like 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, just because I felt like I was going too fast. I was like, I don't know if this is a normal timeline. Well, I shared it with my department chair at the time that, hey, I actually had this course done already. And she's like, that's a gift. Like, nobody's turning out courses like that. And so I started implementing that in my own business. Hello, Julio. Hello, hello. It's good to see you. And I appreciate the positivity inside of the chat. Let me know where you guys are watching from and what time it is where you're watching from. I always like to see the global reach. I appreciate y'all. And so I started implementing that process in my business and I started teaching it to my clients of, hey, here's how you can, develop your courses. Now, when I came to my course business, I'll be very transparent with you. I had clients initially who were like, well, I need to see the big picture. And I was like, I know you're kind of like me. Here is the method that I use to develop my courses. Pro tip for your courses as you're developing them: being a university professor, taking like having a bird's eye view of what this process looked like, understanding the outcomes of courses and what the goals were that needed to be measured and hit right inside of each program or inside of each course because they have to answer to a board. And so I was like, all right, cool. What if I utilize these guidelines and develop processes, develop assignments that are useful throughout the semester? You remember being in college, right? Like doing the busy work, doing the fluff work, doing the assignments that really didn't matter. I'll be honest, that really didn't matter. It was just something to do, something to pass the time, or something that would hit a goal or hit a benchmark. If you're looking at it from the other side as a professor, it's like it would hit a benchmark, but it wasn't, it was still fluff. And so I started developing courses wherein or whereas my students were able to do assignments throughout the semester or throughout the course that would culminate in the final assessment, right? Like whether it was an exam or it was a paper or some sort of other final project, they could utilize everything that we had done. So their assignments throughout the semester for that final project. So the way I develop courses now inside of my business, again, pro tip, please take this and run with it, okay? There's one outcome per course, always pro tip. One outcome per course. The way I develop it is I just work backwards. So if I know the outcome, then what's the step right before that, the step right before that, the step right before that? Every single step forward. So if you're creating and developing courses backwards, you're rolling them forward though, right? When people come to take them, you're going to take the first step all the way through the outcome. So it just like everything falls in place and it's so neatly packaged. And I had, when I first started, I had clients going, well, I need to see the big picture. I need to know the full picture. I'm like, well, you enrolled for this specific outcome, right? You know, you're going to get to the outcome. And I know you want to see the whole thing, but you do have to take one step at a time. So every single week, there's like these aha moments. There's like these light bulbs going off. Like, oh, I see how this connects to the previous week. I see how this connects to the thing that you had us doing in week one, right? Like everything connects. And so that's the way you want your courses to flow. That's the most effective way to create and develop premium courses. Okay. Like I promise you. And all throughout the process, like the aha moments are worth it. I always say this, that sense of fulfillment you have to experience for yourself because it feels better than the initial payment. Okay, when my clients are getting results throughout my program, especially when they get the outcome that they signed up for, and they're like, thank you so much. Like there's an overwhelming sense of joy that I really can't describe. But having people, like if you've never had somebody cry about, like in a way like happy tears of thanking you for putting together your programs, your products and services, there is no feeling like that. Like there's none. It literally feels so much better than the initial payment. I promise. Okay? Even when you're charging premium dollars. So that is a pro tip for developing your courses backwards, roll them forward. If you want to learn more about this, there is a training that's happening today. However, doors have closed because we reached capacity. So I went ahead and opened a new training up for next Thursday. It is live. You can come hang out with me, ask questions, learn more about my advanced tips and things that I have learned being in this business, developing courses as a university professor, all the things. Okay, I want to teach them to you next Thursday at noon. So you can register at jumpfirstacademy.org/VIP. In the meantime, after registering for the advanced class next Thursday, you can also go check out the free class that I put together. It's a free training, walks you through step by step my teach it method in 30 minutes, okay, or less, depending on how quickly you move through the material. But there's no fluff in there. I'm not about the fluff. I want you to take action. There are also very valuable resources that will help you implement and execute as you go through that 30-minute training. Check it out at jumpfirstacademy.org. The resources that are going to help you implement, some of them are free, some of them are paid. You determine your pathway to success, but either way, those resources are there and they are very beneficial and will help you implement and not just consume more information. Okay. Jumpfirstacademy.org/VIP to register for next week's training, and then check out jumpfirstacademy.org to get the on-demand training so you can get started now and prepare questions for next week. All right. I'm super excited. I love y'all so much. I hope this is super helpful. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the new subs as well. If you are new, welcome to the Jump First Academy family. If you are returning, you know, it's always all love. I appreciate everyone for being here. If you haven't already hit the subscribe button, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button, like button, bell notification so you know when new episodes like this drop. And I'll see y'all back here tomorrow. Bye, y'all.